Podcast City Network. The Everett Lee Show.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show. I'm the Everett Lee. Want to give a shout out to everyone who follows me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show. And I want to give a shout out to all my Canadian listeners. Thank you for putting me in the top 100 on iTunes and Canada. Thank you so much there for that. Shout out to my Canadian listeners. Ole, ole. And we got some other announcements here I want to get out of the way before we get on to my co-host tonight and my guest. I want to talk about, you can find all the great shows content over on Podcast City Network, over on Facebook, Podcast City Network, Twitter, YouTube, and over on Twitch, Podcast City Network. And you can listen to the audio portion of this podcast on the following right there on the screen: Amazon Music, Podbeam, iHeart Radio, Stitcher, iTunes. And shout out to our sponsor, CityLimitsTaproom, there in DeLand, Florida. And be sure to pick up some ELS merchandise over on podcastcity.net to support the podcast. And while you're there, check out much more merch over on podcastcity.net/shop. And we're going to have a great show here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome my guest co-host, David C. Russell from Deathmatch Russell Podcast, and our guest tonight, coming straight from the sanctuary, none other than the Mastodon. How you guys doing there?
Hey, Everett. Hey, Mastodon. Again, good to see you guys again. This time we
are on round 2 of our best of 3 falls contest here.
Yes.
Yeah. It feels like forever, but it was just last week over on David's podcast. He had me jump in there last minute, unprepared.
Yeah, handicap match. I was like, oh, what are you doing there, Everett? You got into it, you know? You had to...
But
even the odds out a little bit, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Let me, Rosh, I had this question, and I didn't ask it on the podcast, and Everett wants to know, too. What is the deal with the 2 ropes instead of the 3rd rope?
I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that. So at the sanctuary, of course, we don't have the bottom rope. At the sanctuary, we are we're not your standard wrestling company. We can't even use the word wrestling to describe what we do, thanks to a since dropped lawsuit by the state of Pennsylvania. We are stunt theater. We are stunt acting, stunt fighting. I don't know, call it whatever you want. As such, everything we do there is focused on the idea that we're filming. We're creating a television show. The bottom rope really inhibits a lot of the shots you can get with the camera. So by taking that bottom rope out, and there's a couple other reasons we'll get into that, but by taking that bottom rope out, we've expanded the field of view for our photographers and video people to, if they need to, if there's action on the far side of the ring, they can literally climb up into the ring and get better shots, which enables us, if you guys have seen our footage on Facebook, we get shots that nobody else gets. We'll put a camera in the referee's hand, and get up close shots. So we're trying to experiment with things. So that's the primary driver for it. Another thing is, on our ring, we have an additional 4 inches of padding.
I was going to ask you that. I see that. I was like, because I see when you were like running across the ring, you kind of see that little, it like wrinkles up. It wrinkles up.
Being one of the larger gentlemen on that show, I can tell you one of my least favorite things. The padding's great because the bump, it's like working on a cloud. But as a bigger guy, and the smaller guys don't have this problem as much, but as a bigger guy, more padding, more sink. So I have to factor that in to every motion that I make in the ring. I like it because I like a challenge. I like to need to constantly be aware so that I can make my adjustments. It makes me feel alive. It keeps me from going into, like automatic mode. So since the padding is up another 4 inches, if you have that bottom rope and you run the ropes or take turnbuckles, it's almost awkward where that would be. So by playing around with everything with the with as far as the layout for the ring, it became a no-brainer. And let me tell you, the first time I went to the sanctuary at the beginning of the year, because like I said, I had taken some time off, that was new to me. And I think it took me about 5 minutes to adjust. The only time I ever used the bottom rope. I mean, when you watch, now you guys are going to watch shows, you're going to be like, all right, how much do they use the bottom rope? Some guys use it quite a bit. I don't, except for an occasional rope break, which I'm big, I'm tall, I've got long limbs. I'm going to get that middle rope anyway. So it didn't take me very long to adjust to it. I prefer it at this point. That doesn't mean I don't like working with 3 ropes, but I like that it's different. It's just something to make us stand out just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could roll out to the outside a lot quicker.
Yeah. That's what I noticed. I watched some of your matches.
There's been and I take advantage of that because there's no rope there. So I'll grab the middle rope and it's quick in and out. It's changed just the way I maneuver around the ring, and it makes me feel like I got a little bit more zip in my giddy up, So I'm down with it. I like it. Usually the people that don't like it at first, once they get in there and they mess, like the guys are like, oh, there's only 2 ropes. That's weird. It's like, just try it out. I promise you, just try it out. And then when they get in, they're like, oh, okay, you trade off the bump. Easy peasy. Okay, we'll do this all day long. Because when you have that comfort level for your safety, and that's what the sanctuary, shooting television, acting, the filming elements, but primarily what we're really looking at is the safety. John Trotsky is obsessed with the future of the business, and we live in a world where CTE is a real deal. When I was a kid growing up, if you didn't play football, you weren't shit. But most of my classmates that were playing football, not my classmates, but, people my age that played football, all kinds of concussion problems, CTE issues. We want to avoid that for wrestling. I mean, you're starting to see, like when I was growing up and coming up, hey man, just no sell it. You just roll like it didn't even happen, I came up, you'd see guys dropping over from drug overdoses or whatnot. Now we're starting to see a lot more of the brain trauma issues. You're seeing, instead of just like, hey, this happened to so-and-so, it's like, well, why did that happen? So we're trying to look towards the future of what can we do to protect these kids. I mean, kids, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids from turning their brains into scrambled eggs.
Right.
I mean, there's only so much you can do. There's the implied risk of getting in the ring, and we all sign off on that when we choose this life. But there are things we can do to be better. We don't do drivers in the sanctuary. No drivers, no brain busters, because there's no point getting dropped on your head, in front of a studio audience.
Yeah.
There's just a few things that will adjust out. We don't do any blood. We don't do any hardcore. No shots to the head. It's not necessary. And it's the challenge of, okay, let's take that off the table. Mm-hmm. What else can you do? What else can you do? You got to work a little bit harder. You got to work. Makes you a better artist.
I noticed with you have TKOs there. I noticed that, which I thought was really great because I watched that 4-way match that you did. That 4-way match. Did you see that one, David? You know which one I'm talking about, right?
I probably have. Yes.
Yeah,
yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up right here. I'm right on your YouTube page right now, Mastodon, and I'm trying to find
the one with Ransom Savage and Travis Dorian. That would be the 4-way. There's also the 6-way with the 4 of us plus Aaron Roxas and one of our poor young students who just made a wrong turn at Albuquerque and ended up in the ring with a bunch of monsters.
Yeah, that's the one with the student, man. You guys took him out first, man.
Good old Vincent, man. I tell you, that was our season finale, and this kid. He's put the work in this year in the ring as far as in training. And then if you're a trainee, you're going to get a camera because you can learn things working the camera. He got put in as a referee several times. You're going to learn things as a referee. We try to encourage all of our students to explore the many facets of what can be involved in a wrestling show.
Right.
Beyond, or a stunt fighting show, beyond just what happens in the ring or on the stage. So by doing all of these things, he's observing and he's learning all these nuances of the action. So since he did the work and we had someone that had to pull out last minute with an injury, it's like, hey, here's an opportunity to throw the kid a bone, put him on the season finale, have a great and entertaining little segment, and just kind of fill the gap because the whole night was 6-way. John booked it out. It drives me nuts, but we were able to get so many people exposed on that show. It was exactly what it was intended.
And you know what match I liked the most also was when you had Seymour turn on you as that other character.
Sure.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
What a jerk.
Yeah. Did you see that match, Everett?
No,
one of me and Skylar Kincaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, fill me in on that one because I will go back and watch it because I do like watching matches on YouTube. So tell without giving too much away, just just tell me a little bit.
Let me just give you a little bit of background. Seymour he's a young kid. He just started this year. He started in February, so he's like still a little shy, still a little breaking in, but he's got the heart of a champion. And he's just built like a string bean, like a 6'3" string bean. The kid's gonna be great. Give him a couple years to get seasoned, but he had been working with this kid named Skylar Kincaid throughout the season, like kind of like this little mentorship, little Ravens Flocky type deal.
Right.
And we had Skylar's music hit, and then of course I came to the end of the ring, and I'm like, that's not Skylar, and here's Seymour getting his attention, and then Skylar hits the ring and gets me from behind. Just try to do it a different way. And I love working with Skylar because Skylar works at my level of intensity. When I posted the match on YouTube, I like to throw music tracks on my matches just for like a soundtrack. That match was thrash metal, man. That was bam, 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 bam. That was high. That was like, I'm not a fast mover. I'm not a cardio guy. But Skylar and I have found a way to keep that pace up and keep it entertaining. And if you watch the full show, that was a first round match. The idea being that I'm just supposed to knock him out of the tournament because that's Ace Austin's brother.
Right.
And this kid's cultivating and building, and you want to see a banger of a match. Go back to Sanctuary Mania from the July. Watch the two brothers together. Oh, because at this point, they just don't care. They're just going to beat the shit out of each other, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And you can't get a bad Ace Austin match at all.
Right.
So when I saw what Skylar was willing to do to his body, I was like, gimme.
You're thirsty. You're thirsty. You want it.
You want it. You want it.
I'm thirsty. Feed me that. I want it. So, again, I was supposed to have an opponent. It was one of those things where, like, schedules changed last minute. We had to make some adjustments. And when I saw the opening, I was like, hey, what do you got for him? What do you got for me? Give it to us. We want it.
Nice.
And John was like, because John's hobby is just telling me no. I ask for things, and he's like, no. No, we're not.
No.
He's already changed. Yeah, I've asked for something that I didn't know he had already had on the schedule, and he's like, "Nope, taking it off now. You can't have it," because he and I have been friends for so long. He just likes to mess with me. But I was like, "Give me this. Give me Skylar," and of course, getting Seymour involved. Like I said, he's like my little wrestle brother. So it's like this is fantastic, and it was just a lot of fun. It was my favorite match, one of my favorite matches of the year. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I just actually talked to Skylar on the phone the other day. I'm looking forward to the Sanctuary kicking back off so I can kick him square in his teeth.
Now, I did watch you and Corey O'Ryan. I love that match. That was great. It started out great. Corey. Yeah, you guys, did you see that one, David? Corey. Because
I've been I kind of glanced at that one a little bit.
I liked what I liked about it, Mastodon, was I liked the flow of the match. I liked how basically you're trying to size each other up there at the beginning, and then once you went outside, you roughed each other up, and then once he got back in the ring, and then you pulled his ass outside there, and then you hit him up, and then you got him back in the ring, and just the pacing of the match, I enjoyed that. I was like, this is pretty good. I was like, there's nothing like seeing two big wrestlers.
Monsters, bro. Hosses, man.
And just going at
monsters.
I love it.
Monsters.
I love it. Two monsters. Hosses.
A couple things about Corey. I love this kid. He's one of the sweetest kids on the planet. He takes verbal abuse like nobody's business. Like, there's always the guy in the locker room that everyone wants to bag on. And it's always in love. Like, no one's ever a dick to him. But it's just like, we fly close to the sun on that. But, like, he's our lovable lummox. Like, he's the guy that'll walk into a room, turn around, and knock 5 things over on accident. It's like a bull in a china shop. So it kind of translated into his character. And he had done a bit in the prior show, which was the Stampede. Right. And I don't think we have that one up right now. There's just some things with the production that needed to be worked on. Mm-hmm. And he injured one of his fellow students from one of the prior seasons. So I was his punishment because this was my introduction to the Sanctuary, John Trotsky's old problem solver when we were in the Culture Charisma together. Right. So my whole job in that match, the whole story was I was just there to hurt him. That's why you don't notice it. Like, you don't see any pinfall covers from me until the end because I didn't care. My job is to punish him for hurting one of the other guys. Mm-hmm. And I had a blast with Corey. He listens very well, and he works at a solid pace. I am not, again, other than that match with Skylar, I'm not the fastest moving guy out there. I'm not a high cardio guy. I'm a high impact guy. I'm not going to be climbing the top rope. I'm not doing a whole lot of dives. Although I'm doing that really cool kick to Travis in the 6-way. That just happened. I was like, there's no way that's not happening when I saw the opportunity. But Corey, my favorite part of that match with Corey is when we did the teeing off on each other, that little hoss fight. Yeah. Towards the beginning, where it was just boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. Some guys are really good at doing that and holding a pace, and others are they just blow their load too quickly. And Corey was able to keep the correct pace. You've got to take time to let everyone register what you just did. Yeah. Like, if I punch a person, I want the crowd to have that moment to go, but if I'm going, pa, 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 I'm not giving anybody time to process anything. So, I enjoyed that match with Corey. Congratulations, by the way, to Corey. Over the weekend, he proposed to his girlfriend, and surprisingly to everybody, no surprise at all, she said yes. So, congratulations to Corey the Lion O'Ryan.
Congratulations, Corey.
His lioness.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. Here's to you.
I'm glad you guys got a chance to go back in there and watch some of these. We had a lot of fun at the Sanctuary this year.
I like the names of the matches also. I like some of the way that they're like, you put them out there as like the survival and, just like different ways that, it's a way to do it. Mix it
John.
up. Yeah.
John's a huge fan of that, like, late 80s, early 90s WWF. You know, like, he loves the super gimmicky, over the top, wild and crazy. You know, we do this, the Sanctuary Stampede, which is the Royal Rumble. We, you know, the King of the Sanctuary, the Kingdom Come Sanctuary Tournament, which is King of the Ring. Night of Survival, which is it typically is a Night of Survivor Series matches, you know. So there's a lot of parallels there, just because at our heart, you know, at the very core, we're all kids that just want to enjoy doing the stuff that we watched when we were younger. So we always try to have fun names for everything. We don't want to just throw out, here's a bunch of matches, you know. All right, I can see that anywhere.
I want to say shout out to Chris Wilson, one of the co-owners of Podcasting Network. He's going to be going live tonight at 9 o'clock on Final Score Facebook page with Final Score. Just give a quick shout out to him. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Final Scores.
But you got someone in the chat. Want to give a shout out to him?
Segment there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll tell you who else I liked from the Sanctuary Mastodon. PJ Savage.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, dude. Savage. I like Savage.
Russell knows him too well.
Oh, man.
Know him too well.
Yeah.
He's
tell me what you know about old PJ. I'm curious. I'd like to hear this.
Who?
You, David.
What do you tell me what you guys feel about old PJ here?
PJ has that, like,
come on, I know you're a Titan guy. Tell me what you think.
I know. Okay, Mr. Rumble man.
Not on the hot seat, David. Not on a hot seat.
All right, but no, PJ Savage.
Let's go unfiltered for this.
Unfiltered?
Yeah, unfiltered. Go ahead.
But no, PJ's he's a guy who's just trying to get out there. He wants to be seen, heard, you know, and he's just on the level that the Mastodon knows about, and we do. He's just on a cycle of, like, just a dark light flashing is coming. You know, he just wants to keep on pushing and pushing until he can, you know, the beam of light is broken.
He wants to whip someone's ass. That's what I got out of him. He's a beast.
Generally,
Wow.
PJ. There have been 3 times over the course of the season at the Sanctuary where PJ and I have found ourselves sharing together. The first time was in the Stampede, and that was very brief. And it was like, it's like busting your lip and getting a little bit of blood in there, right, and tasting it and going, I want a little bit more of that. But then our stories went in different directions, and he's got this whole, I don't know, there's like 500 members of the Walker clan. They all come from the Johnny Rod school. They're all tough as nails. But guys, I'm a wild Samoan kid, and that shit doesn't scare me. Okay, so I end up in that 4-way, and there's a very gentlemanly exchange at the beginning of the 4-way, where I offer him my chin, and I say, free shot, kid. Give me what you got. It's all right. It's all right. And then I gave him one back, and then another, and then another. And we didn't get to play too long in there. But when it came time for the 6-man, or the 6-man for Night of Survival,
right, I
wanted more. But this sucker kept hiding. See, in a little he did an Instagram live between those 2 matches, and he let me hear something he shouldn't have. And PJ, I know you're watching because you always do. PJ's scared of us. See, Travis and I, we come from the Susquehanna Valley. We come from the 570 area code, the Northeast PA, the Poconos, the Williamsport, that whole stretch of a whole lot of nothing. We hit hard, and we like it. So when he saw me and Travie in that 4-way, and we're just watch it again, you'll see smiles as we're beating the piss at each other. He said on that live and in the ring, he was like, if you guys do that, I'm out. I'm out, man. Fuck that. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Fuck that. You can't hang. And I've said it, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. If it's on the east side of that Delaware River, if it's on the Jersey side, it's soft. We're hard-boiled. The west side, we're hard-boiled.
Nice. I was looking up on your Twitter, Mastodon, and I came upon something I want to share, and I want to share with everyone that's going to be listening because it has to do with
my tweets.
Yeah, it's in your tweets. You retweeted it today. I was checking out your Twitter, checking out social media. It's like, what's Mastodon tweeting about on Twitter? I'm interested. I want to see what he tweets. You tweet out a lot of good stuff, man, and
he does. He's
got a following on Twitter. I have to tell you, it had to do with you and your partner Johnny Moran,
the dark horse.
Yeah,
Johnny Moran,
and it had to do with this right here. If I could find it, I found it right here. I want to go ahead and play this here, and actually. This is what I want to do. I want to share this with you because I want to
share this with everybody.
Yeah, I want to get your thought on this. Where is my mouse? I can't find my mouse. There I am. Hey, look, alternate camera. Now I can't find my mouse.
You broke it.
Where's my mouse?
Everyone's scared. It doesn't want to go to that mouse.
There we go.
Twitter, but everybody else should, and it's at Rosh. Dang it, ROSH. Dang it.
All right.
Dang it.
All right. Let me go back over to the camera here. All right. That's what I want to do. I want to share my screen. I want to share that right there with you. All right. You see it? Here's what I want to share right here. I want to get your thoughts on this one right here. So, here we go.
NFL wrestling in South Boston. The Moonlight Sun walks into that ring with a smile on his face because I get to challenge Miranda and his friends.
No, the fans can't see it.
Tag Team Championships. Miranda, you got a partner and you won the belt. But here's the thing. I've looked at your videos. Your partner may be big. Your partner may be strong. Your partner may be looking to smash Blackstream and I's faces. Your partner's been sitting on the couch for 2 weeks drinking beer. That's not going to get it done against myself and Blackstream.
Because he's scared. You can tell he's scared because he can't stand still.
You're stepping in the ring in between two loaded guns and a man drinking beer all week. He isn't going to be able to hang. He's going to drown in the deep water that is a tag team match.
He's still running his mouth.
John, you've never had the answer for me. I've been a problem you've never quite been able to solve, no matter where we've traveled together.
No, there you go, Everett. You can always hide me, Everett. You can always hide me for now.
I know you're Johnny Patch's golden boy, the head man at NYCW. And he is sitting at home pissing himself at the thought of the Moonlight Sun being the champion again because he knows what I could have been there.
Here, take my camera away from me, Everett. I'm going to go use the restroom.
That itch I needed inside my pay envelope. Well, Patches, you know very well what I'm capable of.
I'll be right back, folks.
We're very capable of winning those tag team championships. And we're going to have to get paid.
What are your thoughts on that, man?
All right, so first things first. Mike Skyros is scared of me. All right, let's just be honest. You can tell because he can't stand still when he's talking to the camera. He's wobbling back and forth. That's a man living in fear. And I don't, you know what I can't say is I blame him because I'm only about 2 feet taller than him. Now, as far as him saying whatever he had to say about Moran, it's probably true. I don't know. I tune out Moran half the time. We are in a business relationship. We are asked to do business. Now, as far as what he's got to say about my fight prep, number one, I don't own a couch, so fuck off. Number two, so what if I drink beer every day? Obviously, he's never had pre-workout in his beer because that's how I get my shit started. Look, I come from the northeast region of Pennsylvania. I come from the mountains. Working out to me is walking through the field, picking up the deer, throwing it over my shoulders, walking back, gutting it out, ripping its guts out, butchering it up, peeling it. I don't have time to spend 4 hours flexing in the mirror at the gym. I ain't got time for that. This is just all natural mountain boy swag, man. This is mountain boy muscles. This is what I do. Mike Skyros is gonna get his face kicked off on Saturday. Kicked off. Beyond that, I didn't have a problem with him till he decided to run me through the mud there a little bit. I was never gonna be respectful to him in the ring. Right. Because that's just not what I do.
Right.
But anybody that would like to see this brutality happen, that'll be this Saturday in South Boston, Massachusetts, for UFO wrestling, which is obviously out of their minds and out of this world, because they're making me and Moran defend our New York Championship Wrestling titles there. That doesn't even make sense to me. I don't know what contract Moran signed, but obviously it wasn't a good one. So we're going to have a little talk about not signing things without letting don't sign anything without letting the Mastodon. I'm the brains of this operation, and the brawn and the looks. I mean, he's the other guy in the team.
Excellent.
That's my thoughts on Mike Skyros and his little mouth. Notice his partner didn't even vouch for him. His partner wasn't even there with him to say, I agree with him. Blackstrom's a smart guy.
I wouldn't have known. I didn't know he had a partner.
Yeah,
I thought he was just calling you out.
It looked like he was trying to fight both of us. But like I said, his partner's got the sense to not stand behind that knucklehead, you know. But Blackstrom and Mike Skyros, this is going to be a fun match, but it's not a good matchup for them. It's completely one-sided here. Me and Johnny Moran. Johnny Moran's at the apex of his career. I am just a human wrecking ball. No offense, Mr. Legursky. I'm just going to go crush people on my way through. And then we'll go back to New York. And then we'll beat the kids that we beat for them last time, because apparently the lazy booking there is give everybody rematch clauses. We'll go do that arbitrary.
And then go rumble your way down to Titan and rumble your way down to Titan Championship Wrestling.
I'm not going to say that I'm in a particular match, but I will just happen to point out there is a gauntlet tag team match for the titles, and there is a mystery team. I will be in the building.
Somewhere.
Will I be in that match? Never know. You know who is in that match, though?
Yeah.
My other tag partner, Ransom, is cheating on me with PJ Savage.
I know.
I have business to attend to at Titan. I'm not going to say what that business is.
Speaking of tag team, did you catch over the weekend ROH Final Battle?
I did not watch it. I was
busy.
I'm bouncing everywhere, man. I tried to catch what little clips I could, because thankfully with Twitter and Facebook, you know, it's hard to miss anything good.
You get puzzled together. Yeah.
You can figure it out. I was not at all upset with what happened with the tag team titles. In fact, I feel like that is where those titles belong. Is on them boys, is on the Briscoes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tag teams that I'm not in are those two. They've been around as long as I have, but they're consistent, and that's what happens when you stay in the gym and you work hard and you do the things that you're supposed to do. So hats off to those gentlemen. They deserve it. And I saw they just put a promo out today calling out FTR, calling out Tony Khan. You know, hey, Tony, look, man, on behalf of everybody, fly your little personal private jet down there, pick those boys up in Delaware, and let's make this happen.
Exactly.
Make them your tag champs. That's where they belong.
Exactly.
Did you see that promo, Everett?
No, I didn't. Was it on their Twitter? Was it under Twitter, Mastodon?
It's Twitter. It's on Facebook. I'm sure they've got it smoke signaled out there somewhere.
Hold on,
they've got it everywhere.
I got you, Everett.
All right, go ahead, look it up, and send it to me. And while you're doing that, I want to ask our guest some more questions. Now, I did like what I did like about Final Battle was the fact that everyone popped in and made an appearance on ROH, how it meant to them, from CM Punk to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and to Adam Cole. I love that. But this was a pretty damn good card. I have to say, this is one of the best ROH pay-per-views that I've seen. One of the best. There's still plenty more that's out there in the history of ROH. But
man, that's a hard quantifier to put out there on anything Ring of Honor's done, is to figure out what the best is. Best of luck, whoever's got to figure that out.
Well, there's so many ROH pay-per-views and so many matches, but this would have to fall in to my favorite. One of my favorite pay-per-views from them, especially the main event with Jonathan Gresham. I've always been a fan of Jonathan Gresham, and Jay Lethal coming in by substitute because he wasn't originally going to be the guy going up against Jonathan for the title. Mm-hmm. Because who was it that was supposed to be his opponent, but they tested positive for COVID-19, and they had to...
Yeah, Bandito.
Yeah, Jay Lethal. Dude, Jay Lethal brought it. Jonathan brought it. The whole locker room brought it this night.
Everybody brought it, man.
They wrestled like they're going to be their last time ever doing anything. But they set the bar that night, man. With that opening match all the way to the end was great. And I did love the tag team, the 6-man tag team and 10-man tag team they had, because they had some moments, had some great spots, which I loved. But when it came to the tag team championship match, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I like it when it's in a match like that where you figure it's going to go this way, and then it takes you this way. And then when you get to there, and you're like, okay, it's going here, but then it takes you back over here.
Then you see the surprise. Then we see that surprise visitor.
Yeah, well,
on Strowman.
I will want to say this about the tag team title match. It was great seeing Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis back in ROH, because they made the best of their wrestling career in ROH to me.
Absolutely. I just want to give it to John Gresham, man. He earned that. He totally earned that. I'm glad. My heart's broken for Bandito. That's a rough spot to in. John Gresham has earned that, and I'm glad to see it happen. And the moment that he had as the pay-per-view, made its transition to that CM Punk segment there. What a powerful moment. The wrestling community, the boys, as it were. Everybody took notice, and it was a very proud moment for the whole world, because Ring of Honor changed everything. Mm-hmm. I remember when they first started kicking around, when the original owner crew started putting this together, and it was unheard of and almost unfair, because it was the entire country and then the entire world's all-star game. They redefined how to do supercard booking and supercard presentation. They didn't have to build all these guys up from nothing. Like that's just remember that, like, when they started, these were the guys, and it's like, this guy's out in California and that guy's over there in Jersey. I wish somebody would put them together, and Ring of Honor's like, I bet, let's do it. And they started pulling, and then they got, AJ Styles coming in, and you got Samoa Joe and CM Punk, and you get the Briscoes there, and the Hit Squad, and Homicide, man.
Homicide, man. Oh, I loved his spot. Oh, God.
the Mastodon. I was telling Everett Lee earlier today about how, Jimmy Rave actually stole the Clash from AJ Styles.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy stole. Yeah.
I want to before you.
Yeah, let's all.
I want to say this real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, David, but yeah, Jimmy Rave. Want to send my condolences out to the family and friends of Jimmy Rave. Big loss in the wrestling world. I mean, yeah.
Damn right.
Absolutely. Hats off to Jimmy Rave. He was totally a pioneer. I don't even really have words to. I can't convey words that would be sufficient. But Jimmy Rave was much loved, much appreciated. He was a role model. He was looked up to. He was a lot of things to a lot of people. I didn't have any personal crossings with him. I have nothing but appreciation, though, for what he's done for the people that I know that have been personally affected by him. My condolences to his family. I can't even imagine. This one hit the wrestling community hard.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, to the H2O Academy. H2O actually really held him at the door for quite a while, which was shout out to them.
Yeah.
To the students, because he actually was training a lot of the students that before he has lost his, we know that, right? Right, Mastodon. I mean, that's a lot of the community, a lot of promotions. He actually just.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Matt Tremont, what they do at H2O is something special, and there's not many community atmospheres left in professional wrestling, but that's one of the last families, as it were. At least the atmosphere there is 100% family. Nothing but class out of H2O. Nothing but respect for Matt and his kids.
Yeah. David was telling me about you got to see Death Before Dishonor. You were at that pay-per-view there, David, and you seen that happen. Tell Mastodon.
I saw this. Yeah. No, I didn't tell.
Yeah, but this is good.
I actually got to see that match. Ring of Honor 3, Death Before Dishonor 3, Edison, New Jersey. And I got to see when he turned around and gave AJ the old Styles Clash back. And I was like, oh, what a
moments.
Yeah. And that was the same night that Punk, and that was the same night Punk had just did his contract. He just was leaving for WWE. That was
David got to see that.
When we are trying to put our matches and our shows together, it's all about creating moments, things that the audience, that our fans, and even each other can take home with us. Like, as much as a moment like that is for you guys, it's something very special for us too. So to know that, what year was that, David? What year was the?
Holy cow! I don't even. God, I could Google it. Go ahead and talk to him, Everett, while I do that.
But how many years have you held on to that moment that you can recall it like this? To know that we've had the ability to do that for a human being, man, it's powerful and it's humbling. It's why we do this.
I called up one of a friend of mine that worked at one point in ROH, and I contacted him, and I mentioned to him I didn't know if you hear about the passing of Jimmy, and he was aware. He hit me back, and he pretty much he was hurt. A lot of people's hurt and devastated by it, man. A lot of people are, because of what Jimmy meant so much to wrestling. What year?
That was June 18th, 2005.
2005. Wow.
So going on 17 years later. and you still have the recall for that, and it still means that much. That's Jimmy's legacy.
Yeah.
Those moments, those lives that he's affected, those are the contributions he has made, not just the wrestling, but the planet Earth. And you can't ever discount the value of those contributions. Again,
wait a minute.
Cannot be expressed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me. I'm sorry, but after it was actually the match was actually AJ versus Petey Williams, and then what is his name? And then Jimmy jumped in, interfered.
Oh, okay. So Jimmy came in and gave Styles.
Yes. Yes.
Still a moment right there.
You remember that moment.
It's a moment.
Like the details. Look, it doesn't matter who wins or loses these things. It's those moments, you know. It's just the moments that you carry with. That's the story being told that needs to propel forward. I try to get this through to the young kids all the time. Your win-loss record doesn't matter.
No.
Tell stories. Give people something to take
home with. Yeah. Take home with. Yeah, exactly. I have a friend who did one last run this year in wrestling, and he pretty much said moments. That's it. You don't remember who wins in a match. You remember that moment. David walked away with a moment there. We all walk away from moments there.
That's how like Colt Cabana. If you remember Colt Cabana, what was his phrase that he would always use in his matches during a promo? Good times, great memories.
Yep.
Good times.
That's great memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
In the studio. In a studio apartment. Yeah, of course. He's doing his podcast, plugging away. He always does that.
Hey, without Colt Cabana and his podcast, where are we? You know,
exactly.
He really kicked that door open for pro wrestling.
He was the first. I'm glad you brought this up because. David, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, Mastodon. Colt Cabana was one of the first wrestling podcasts. I mean, damn. Why am I forgetting his name? Because he used to be an MTV VJ. Adam Curry. Adam Curry was the first to do a podcast. He's the godfather of podcasting. If it was for him, I wouldn't be... or David would be doing this today because of him. But when it comes to wrestling, Colt Cabana is the godfather of putting out the first wrestling podcast.
Dude, he just took it to the level that we needed, the humor and just the way that he put it out there.
Mm-hmm. I had a chance to meet Colt Cabana
every so often.
When I remember when I was talking about going to ROH in 2016, 2017 in Fort Lauderdale.
Tell this guy.
Well, I brought it up, and that's where I was telling you about how Cody was was honored to wrestle in the same armory where his dad wrestled and where his dad won a NWA championship. But outside, while we were waiting to get in, they had some ROH talent come out, and Colt Cabana was right there. And my nephew said, dude, my nephew, when he marks out, he grabs a hold of my shoulder, and he about pulls me down. He's like, Colt Cabana. And I said, chill, man, chill. I was like, I know you're excited, man. Just chill for a minute. And he's like holding me down. Colt Cabana, go say hi to him. So I was like, all right. So I walked up there. As soon as I started walking up, I was going to meet and greet him. I heard someone in front of him said, how much, for, and he mentioned the price. I was like, took off. I'm like, I don't even have that in my pocket, man.
And then also tell him about your Jim Cornette story.
Oh, Jim Cornette. God. You a Jim Cornette fan, Mastodon?
Yeah. Here,
I'm
old school.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I will say this. My dad almost ruined a bunch of TVs one point in my life growing up because whenever time Jim Cornette come on the TV with the Midnight Express, my dad would jump up and start cussing at the TV. I can't stand that goddamn Jim Cornette. And he'd about pick up the TV and throw it out the door. And I swear, every time he threw a TV out the door, everyone that knew my dad was like, okay, two things happened. One, Ric Flair was on TV or Jim Cornette. So they knew my dad was a wrestling fan. But Cornette...
Everett goes to this...
I got a chance to meet Jim Cornette back in 2017 in Orlando, Florida at that wrestling event. I got to meet him. I wanted to go. My friend Tommy was supposed to go, but Tommy couldn't make it because he had to work. And I said to my wife, I'm not going to go. My wife said, yeah, you are going. I paid for the autograph and everything. I'm like... I guess I'm going to Orlando. So I drove the highway to hell, I-4, to Orlando, and went over there and got inside the Hilton there. They had it downstairs in the room and stuff. There was a lot of people there. Larry Sabisco already left. He was there, and he said, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. And he freaking left. Jake Roberts... I ran into Jake Roberts going outside to smoke when he was coming back in to smoke a cigarette, and we passed. I said, when I go back in, I'm going to meet Jake. Jake packed up and left. I said, damn it. But I went over there. I was wearing the Jimmy Hart, bar and grill shirt because Jimmy was still here in Daytona, and I'd hang out and go to Jimmy's there. So I was wearing that shirt, and as soon as I walked up to meet Jim Cornette, first thing he noticed about Jimmy, he started talking about Jimmy. How you go to Jimmy's? How's Jimmy doing? I said, Jimmy's great. He told me some funny stories about Jimmy. We shared some stuff. We took some pictures and everything. And just a great guy just to talk to. And I got to ask him some questions, and he answered. I was like, wow, I didn't know about that, which was great. Great conversation. And I sat in for the Q&A he did, but I'm serious. People get so pissed off with this guy. This guy is a heel. He is a heel. So when the mics and the cameras go live, he becomes Jim Cornette. When that's off, this is Jim Cornette. When the cameras and stuff, this is the Jim Cornette. He separates them. That's the thing that I as soon as that Q&A, I sat there and watched it. I go, I got it now. I get it. I get it.
He's a worker, man.
Yeah, he works. He's a worker. Exactly.
I love it. And then it goes to a table. He goes to a table, right?
But this. Oh yeah, the table. Okay.
Yes.
There's a guy down on the end, Mastodon. Check this out. He was selling action figures. A lot of people are selling stuff there by the front door. I saw Tyson Kidd and Chris Masters. Chris Masters was having a fun putting people in the master lock. I had people trying to break out. I sat there. He's a worker. Yeah, I watched it. I was getting ready to say $50 if you could break out of that, kid. I was like, there you go, Chris. So I walked over to this guy. This guy had all these action figures sitting up there. I got it sitting right up here. I'll have to grab it to show you. Yep. Yeah, let me grab this to show you what I'm talking about.
This is great. Vanishes into the dark.
Sitting right there, okay, on this table with the action figures was a Jim Cornette action figure. Okay, so the guy, I looked at the guy and I said, "Oh, I don't have much Jim left. Cornette, you got a Jim Cornette action figure?" He's like, yeah. I was like, no one's bought it. I said, the dude's standing 30 feet right over there. Why has not anyone picked it up? I said, I'll buy it. So we negotiated, and we settled on a price. He gave me a free badass Billy Gunn figure, which I should have let Billy Gunn sign. I got his picture over there. I met Billy Gunn at the same event. But I walked over to Jim Cornette and asked him, hey, you don't mind signing this, do you? And I hate to bother you again. And he did not at all. So, there you go. See what it says?
Man.
What does it say to you? What does it say?
Is it Denver?
Yeah,
I say Denver.
Yeah, that's my real name.
Yeah.
Denver. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is that a rib there? Is he supposed to type in Everett or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is to show everyone here on this camera right there. Yeah. So yeah, I met Jim Cornette and he signed this, and I thanked him, and he gave me I still use this today. He gave me the best advice ever, and I'm not going to share that I'm not going to share that live. I'll share it with you off camera because it's good, man.
Jim Cornette. So
yeah, it's good. So I'll share it with you when we get off the show here, because it's
the behind the scenes. The behind the scenes of the Lee Everett show. It's gonna be it's gonna be lit, son.
It definitely is gonna be lit. But that's my Jim Cornette story there. And Billy Gunn was pretty cool meeting him. I asked him, I said, how do you feel about Dolph Ziggler using the Famouser? And he told me his thought on it, and I was like, that's cool. And I told him what my name was, my real name, and he said, no way. And I said, yeah, I got a brother named Dallas too. And he's like, no way. He called his wife over. He's like, hey, you gotta listen to this. So he called his wife over, and he's like, guess what his name is? Guess what his brother's name is? I mean, he was like marking out for that, you know. He was cool. He was down to earth. I loved talking with him. And I told him, I said, thank you for the stuff that you did with DX and the Attitude Era when I was growing up. Thank you. I thanked him for that, and I told him I'd love, can't wait to see what you do next now. And he's like,
down TV.
He pretty much he said at that time, pretty much not of anything, just riding my 4-wheeler, where I live.
You can only ride that 4-wheeler for so long, and then old wrestlers don't retire,
No.
They just take naps and breaks.
He gets paid. He still gets paid money. Come on.
What
shit?
What have you caught the Gunn Club on AEW Dark? What are your thoughts about that, Mastodon?
So how there's like annoying workers that don't really watch anything that's on TV right now? I'm one of them.
Oh.
I tune in every once in a while. I'll try to catch a little piece here and there. YouTube's got that. Like, I love to look for obscure indie shit from 2000, 2001, 2000. Back in my day.
Right.
And I was just watching an old match from 2001. Man, it hurts my feelings to say it's an old match. From 2001, it was Reckless Youth and Dirty Don Montoya against Steve and Colby Carano, like little kid Colby Carano. I love to go back and I don't know if it's like reliving my youth or if I'm just trying to remember it. I don't know, concussions and whatnot, or I'll go, look for stuff that's like, European or Japanese. But then YouTube has this thing where, like, if you watch a wrestling video and you don't stop afterwards, it's just going to start playing AEW.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
that.
just me.
No.
But every wrestling video I watch goes immediately into AEW. And so sometimes I'll just be like, it's on, I'll watch it. And then you get treated to like, oh, here's Jamie Hayter. And you're like, all right, now I'm definitely watching this. Like I'm tuned in.
Yeah.
I try to catch it. Like if there's people that I know, I try to catch it. But man, there's just, like I was saying last week, there's so much good wrestling on right now. It's hard to keep up.
There is.
There is. I mean, we've seen some good people pop up lately. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to me. Shout out to Anthony Gangone.
Shauna Reed, FGW. She's been on. She's been on Dark. She wrestled against Britt Baker.
Yep.
She's wrestled on Dark Elevation. She wrestled against Thunder Rosa. And she wrestled again on Dark against Jade, with the manager, with the white.
Oh, Sterling. Smart Mark Sterling. That annoying dude with Cardona.
I can't stand her. Jade Cardona. Yeah, I can't.
Cargill?
Yeah, Cargill. I can't stand her.
Cargill, whatever. Hell
I can't stand her. Now, from 2 points of view, this is what I get, because with my time being, working behind the scenes and stuff and everything in a promotion for the last 9 months, from a business point of view, I get it. They want to build her up. They want to make her the biggest, dominant female heel. So they're doing her right, business-wise. From a fan's point of view, I can't fucking stand her.
No.
Then they're doing it right.
Yes, they are.
Doing it right. You can't fucking stand it.
I can't fucking stand her. I can't stand her manager. But from the business point of view, it's perfect. It's gold. It's like they took her.
It's that Jim Cornette effect.
Yeah. They.
Fuck out!
You're gonna be checking the TV out the front door like your dad. Then you're like, fuck this TV.
Yeah.
I want to take that racket and shove it up his ass.
My
God, and you're like, here he goes again. Here he goes again.
What? David called me up. What happened, Everett? It's like you can't watch AEW. It's like, no, I threw the son of a bitch out the door.
You see computer monitors start flying out windows. Oh, he's out of TVs now. There goes the laptop. No podcast.
But
what happened? Oh, he was watching dog.
But from the
Let me ask. Oh, go ahead, Everett.
But from the business point of view, I think they've done great, and I could see her before this year ends, or if the beginning of next year, she's going to be on Dynamite holding a championship.
So let me just real quick interject this here before we shift some gears. There's short-term storytelling, there's long-term storytelling, and then there's epic storytelling. On the independent level, you're lucky to get any storytelling. On a program like AEW, get your popcorn ready. Don't go anywhere.
Go ahead.
These are the masters.
I'm getting frustrated.
These are the masters of storytelling and taking their time. It's very reminiscent of WCW, and what a lot of audience members and performers and just society as a whole, everybody wants things now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's going to be a good heel. Make him heel now. No. Let's make you fall in love with him and then make you hate him, because the pain will be even more. You'll hate him even more because you used to like that son of a bitch. I fucking can't stand him. I always say this to new kids breaking in. I was like, stop trying to be heels when you're trying to break in. Come in as a baby face, because nobody knows who you are. So get some sympathy. Get your shit beat out of you. Mm-hmm. And then once everybody falls in love with you, then fucking flip them off and turn heel. That's when you become an asshole, because they're like, oh, what a piece of shit. I used to like that kid. Like poor Vincent, our little student in that 6-man. You felt for the kid, didn't you? Especially when I came flying through the air, that old JBL clothesline, right? So you're going to feel bad for him. Yeah. But imagine, like, you build sympathy for, and he looks like a golly shucks kind of kid. And imagine, like, 2-3 years while he's getting his feet wet and getting all this figured out, because it's a lot to learn out there. And then he turns heel on. And you're like, oh, this little piece of shit. I've been buying his shirts for 2 years now. Now I want to go burn them. Ha ha ha! Gotcha.
Yep. I love when they do that.
Chestnut checkers.
Baron Corbin, when he was in NXT, he came in. Everyone loved him. He came in. He whipped ass, and then as he kept going on and on, then at that moment flipped him, and he went on that heel run, and he took off, man. And it's kind of like how Dwayne Johnson, when he came in as Rocky Maivia. Oh, I love you guys. It's like, this guy sucks. And then all of a sudden, he came in as a face, and the crowd made him a heel, and he ran with it. And then by that time, when he started getting the face pops, you got it. The crowd.
Sometimes
you got to listen to your crowd. You got to listen to your audience, and they did it right.
Sometimes you can come out to the ring and you let the crowd know what you are. Sometimes the crowd says, fuck what you think, buddy. We like you. You're trying to be an asshole, but we like you. You got to lean into it. Your crowd is your barometer. It is to tell you what you are.
Yeah.
I can go out there and blue in the face. Look, I can go out there and be a monster. I can go out there and look like I'm going to eat kids, like I stood behind Vince. And I I'm glad there was no microphone on me because nothing that came out of my mouth was wholesome at all. I was trying to get that kid to either laugh or cry. And then I'm glad I didn't see it until I watched it back. He could hear me behind him. And then he does one of these. I'm so glad I would have laughed. He would have broke me in that moment. But the crowd will tell you what you are if you're doing your job right. Mm-hmm. I always prefer to come out, crack jokes, laugh, have a good time. I'm a natural born baby face, but I can be that monster heel. But it's all, what does this crowd think I am? Because whatever they think I am, that's what I'll be tonight. Lean into it. I learned that early on. Actually, it really bit me in the ass. I had a dog collar match with AC Anderson, and it was in my hometown area. And I'm at this point in my story with WXW, I was this big monster heel, and the crowd wasn't having it at all. And I'm out there, and I'm trying to heel out. And these are people I know, and they're cheering for me every time I'm beating the piss out of this guy with a chain. And they're like, nah, we like you still. And he looks at me and goes, I'm going to heel out on you now. And I was like, okay, let's flip the script. And we, as soon as you let that crowd dictate that, you make your adjustments. Now we're all in sync. Everything's good then.
Exactly. When I was watching Full Gear AEW, when Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, they were cheering 50-50. I like Eddie Kingston is a great heel.
One of the best prom. He's good at doing his promos.
The reason why, David Mastodon, the reason why I tuned into AEW Evolution is to hear Eddie Kingston on commentary. he kills me. When I was watching a little bit of Dark Elevation tonight, and he's on commentary, and he was commentary during that Chris Statlander and Red Velvet match, and Red Velvet's doing a new thing where stir it up, and he's like, what are we doing? We're baking out a wrestling show now?
That's his. Yep. That's his.
And he goes,
scraping the ball.
And every time Red Velvet would do a move or something, he'd say, "Oh wow, wow, oh, we baking now?" Just those comments out of left field. And Tony and Mark Henry's like, yeah, back to the match. What's happening?
Two consummate professionals and Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Eddie's going over. 100%. You know what blows me away even still, and it always makes me smile when I think about it, is that Eddie Kingston's a Chikara guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like these. I've seen these kids. There's one that's got like an ice cream cone costume. There's a crab that walks sideways. And then there's Eddie fucking Kingston beating the piss out of all these poor kids. It's like, why is this man fighting Muppets? But I
believe even Jimmy Raves wrestled there too. I think Jimmy's actually wrestled the kid.
There was a hot minute where everybody had jumped in that door.
Yeah.
So Orange Cassidy got his start down there. Another PA Jersey border boy, another Allentown kid.
Johnny Gargano was in.
Did you know that Lucky 13 was his partner? I never knew that. In CZW.
I did.
I was like, huh?
I did. I knew those boys, not to be that asshole. It's like, I knew those boys, but I knew those boys before they started training. I'd gotten to be good friends with them. Myself and John Trotsky, who wrestled us supremely great, heel and a half right there. We got to know these kids pretty well, spent a lot of time with them. I always thought Lucky was the one out of that crew. There's another one in that crew that's still active, and that's Dan Champion. He's on the indie scene. You can catch him on a lot of IWTV products. He's part of that same circle. I think they all went to the same high school together. They all hung out together. I always knew that Orange Cassidy was talented. And I remember when he started doing the gimmick, I was one of the people that was like, I don't get this. I don't get this. Like,
same here. I did not get this. I was like Jim Cornette when I first saw Orange Cassidy, and I said to myself, pockets. But the more I saw Orange on AEW, I finally got it. And I like how he don't say a damn word except whatever. I died laughing one night. My wife was watching Dynamite with me one night, and they were gonna have that match where he was gonna lose his hair. I think it was someone from the Hardy family office, and they're cutting the hell of a promo. And I'm like, dude, this is great. Orange Cassidy, he's sitting there, he's sitting there, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
I died laughing. I was like, really? That's all this guy's gonna say?
I'll eat the shit sandwich. I was wrong, man. Like when I first heard about what he was doing, because the wrestling community, it's a small community. We all know, what everybody's doing, what's going on, and it doesn't take long. If we don't know, it doesn't take long for word to spread. You can tell a phone or you can tell a wrestler, and everybody will know. And I was like, look, what do you mean he's putting his hands in his pockets and taking naps in the middle of the ring? And he's doing what? And like, I couldn't. I was like, this isn't. Yeah, I was like, this isn't gonna work. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He'll come back to that. And then,
right.
Here I am sitting my fat ass on my love seat with my TV on, and I see him exchanging kicks with Sting, and I'm like,
okay,
son of a bitch. I'm like, well, I was wrong. I was wrong 100%.
Right.
But I'm glad you brought that circle up, because then I get to put Lucky over one more time.
Yes.
Sign this fucking kid already. Seriously.
I know, dude.
Do every style.
Exactly.
Give the kid, for fuck's sake, give the kid a shot. Like, he's, it just blows my mind that he hasn't gotten further. It's just, inexplicable to me. Inexplicable.
I know.
Joey Janela, who I also love, is there. Give me a fucking break. Give us Lucky and Janela as a tag team. Whole show gets canceled.
Probably would.
But I love those guys. I'm so proud of them that they're still going strong. I mean, every weekend Lucky's on a plane to somewhere. People book this kid. He's too damn good. And if you let him work with your actual kids, because he's not a spring chicken anymore, he'll make anybody he's in the ring with better. Absolutely. Book Lucky, sign Lucky, give Lucky a chance, for fuck's sake.
I don't know if Tony Khan.
I'm sorry for not. I'm sorry for not getting the gimmick 10 years ago, bro. You were right. I was wrong.
Where's your cut?
Don't know if Tony Khan can actually sign any more people, because he pretty much signed a lot of wrestlers already. A lot of workers. I mean, he's gonna have to ask his father for some. Hey, can I sign this wrestler? But what's
who just left?
He can afford Lucky.
Big Swole just left. That's all that. They said that.
There you go. There's a paycheck. Sign Kevin Papix to a long-term contract. Lucky. Sign that kid to a long-term contract. Bring him in. Give the kid a shot.
David.
Yeah, Big Swole.
Not that Tony Khan's ever going to listen to me, but
David said Big Swole left? When the hell did that happen?
Just this week.
Really?
Go on Twitter. Yeah, you gotta.
I don't go. I quit going to the dirt sheets. I got tired of it, man. I quit going to that stuff. I still got to say, I got them. I still have them saved on my computer, but I just don't go to them all the time like I used to.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't see it. I see Jeff Hardy. He's made the news, man. Wow. I want to put this out there. Fuck comicbook.com. Stick to comic books. Quit talking about fucking wrestling. They freaking put a.
And you know what?
They put a freaking article out that said, you know, that Matt Hardy already jumped the gun about Jeff Hardy getting released already. He already talked about it. They're behind on it. You know what? Comicbook.com. Fuck you. Proceed.
Those little aggregate clickbait sites like comicbook.com, man, they can't even cover comic books right. I'm a Star Wars fan. I can't even fucking follow that shit. And I have disabled every piece of shit they've got.
And Everett was telling me TMZ even jumped on it. Like, what the?
TMZ, I pulled up Jimmy Rave yesterday, and I told David, I said,
yeah.
TMZ's covering wrestling. You know what? The reason why they cover wrestling is because of the fucking Bella twins in fucking WWE. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's a world where you have to create content nonstop. You know, you've got to create content nonstop in this digital media world. And same for wrestlers, too. We have got to be entertaining people all the time. It used to just be, you know, you'd see us at the shows and that was it. But now it's like there's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. We've got to be involved. We've got to communicate. It's exhausting. It really is. Like, sometimes I got to turn this guy off. Like, I got to turn him off so I can go to sleep at night, you know? There's no respite anymore. There's no break. There is no. Like, I've got to be in Mastodon mode more than I am in Rosh mode. And like I said, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
now that you've got like comicbook.com or what's that, Collider and TMZ, the online paparazzi,
exactly.
Fuck out of here with all that shit. Stop clicking the links,
Exactly. I used to
talk right to wrestlers right now. Let's not even go through the middle.
I used to go on comicbook.com a lot when I used to do comic book podcast. I used to do that back years ago when I was starting out again, doing a podcast. I would go to comicbook.com, get some information, get some resources. There you go. But here in the last few years, they started branching out to other stuff that's now, if they talked about, hey, WWE's done like a comic book issue on something, I can understand that, but don't report about. And I was laughing because in the chats, I was like, what is people talking about this stuff when they see wrestling news? And I was going through the chat, and a lot of people said, stick to comic books, not wrestling.
Hey, Everett. Speaking of comic books and stuff, are you into Marvel and all that other stuff as well?
Yeah. What me and David was just David. Exactly. All right. This is the problem with two co-hosts.
All right, guys, let me ask you guys a question.
All right.
What's the most recent comic book you've read?
I don't read comics.
That's an easy answer then.
Yes!
That's an easy answer.
Everett is go ahead.
I bought a shitload of graphic novels not long ago, and I think the last one I read out of that stack was Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77. Graphic novel. Yeah, that was great. Adam West, Batman meets Wonder Woman from the 70s. And
Everett,
great story. Ra's al Ghul was involved with it. Somehow Diana saved a young Bruce Wayne's life, and he never forgot about it. And he becomes Batman, and he later on helps Diana out. And it has to do with a storyline with Ra's al Ghul trying to steal something from the Wayne family, which is a really great story. So that's the last one I read.
But I do like Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
I do like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that in a bit. All right.
Me and David, we were discussing, because we were talking the other night. We talked a few times since the last time we talked with you, Mastodon. And David brought up, he said, is he into anything else non-wrestling? And I said, that's a good question. Let's ask him that. He's like, you ask him. And I said, all right, I'll ask him. So I'll ask you the question. Anything that you're into that is non-wrestling, What are you into? Like movies, comics, or what?
Right back there is my bookshelf. The top shelf, right across, there's all Star Wars.
Nice.
And the middle shelf is all comic books and trade paperbacks.
Nice.
I have the one I'm most proud of is I have the entire Nightfall, Knights, and Night Quest from when Batman had his back broken.
Yeah,
I have that whole trade paperback series, and it's this thick. It is three books, each about yay thick.
Wow.
I love that story. Somewhere in my parents' attic, I have that Batman Vengeance of Bane, highly sought after issue. I bought it at a flea market when it came out, when it was brand new. I was like, yo, this guy that looks like a giant overjacked pro wrestler with a mask on just breaking the Batman's back. I'm down with that. And I love that story. I don't I'm not obsessive about my comic books or my comic book collections and keeping up with everything. I like those little one-off, like you were saying with the Batman meets Superman or meets Wonder Woman. I have a Gotham by Gaslight. I have X-Men 1677. I love those little what if stories, the one-offs like that. I'm also really big into Star Wars. My nephews are all about Star Wars. We spent all last winter. They were the school was closed because of quarantine, and my brother and his wife both work at a hospital. So the kids are over at my house a lot, and man, we watch so much Star Wars. My Disney Plus, I've used it enough to probably warrant paying for the next 3 years. I am super amped for the Book of Boba Fett to come out in a couple weeks.
Oh God!
I will the day that hits. I'm checked out, man. I'll watch it on repeat. Last year, I was living down in North Carolina, and every week a new episode would come out, and I'd stay up till 3 a.m. when it would hit. I'd set an alarm because I was a responsible adult with a job. I'd set an alarm so I could wake up, watch it, and then I'd watch it again before I left for work.
Nice.
The episode where Boba Fett came back, I geeked out. I just straight, to me, that was way cooler. And, don't get me wrong, I had my moment, when the whole Luke Skywalker bit, I had my moment.
God.
What's your favorite character? What is your favorite character of Star Wars? What's your favorite?
Chewbacca.
Yeah. Chewbacca.
My nephews call me Uncle Wookie.
What's the coolest? What's the coolest piece? What's the coolest piece that you collect of
That's
Star
great.
Wars? What's the coolest piece that's on your collection that you like? That's really cool. Yeah.
Man,
what do you have there? I finished something out. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I will pull. I got two things I'll show you here real quick.
Good question, David. I like it.
You like that, guy?
Yeah.
We're different. This is off stuff.
This is good. This is good, man. Good questions. I like it.
We're going long.
This is not a political stance. This is not a political stance by any stretch, so please don't cancel me for this. But I have the Black Edition Gina Carano Cara Dune figure.
Nice. I like it.
I bought it on Amazon. It was still on pre-order. It was before all the drama happened, and I thought her character was badass. And I was like, "Yo, I don't collect toys anymore." So let me quantify that real quick. I grew up in a family that had a baseball card shop. We did collectibles. My dad has more starting lineups than we did a cross country trip, and he would stop at every KB's and raid the starting lineups, go through the clearance aisles. He knew which ones were the good ones, and so tons and tons of them. Because of that, I don't collect shit. I hate it. I hate collecting stuff. It's just stuff and things. So it's like, if I buy a book, I want it because it's a book.
Let's see what I have in my stash.
The fact that this is unopened is unusual for me. Normally, I would open something just out of spite. But before this even got to me, it was like I was seeing it on eBay for like $300, and I was like, all right, we'll have another one that's open. So this one, maybe we'll just keep it still in the container,
Yeah.
But I also got this, and I haven't opened it yet just because I haven't gotten to it. It's Star Wars Myths and Fables, and it's essentially like a book of children's stories, animated or illustrated children's stories, off the beaten path of Star Wars characters. I like world building. When I was in elementary school, started reading the novels, the Grand Admiral Thrawn novels. Like, I read every one of them, all the way up through high school. I read all the Rogue Squadron books. I think at one point there was like 40 or 50 novels in my collection of just Star Wars that I'd read.
Yeah.
And then Disney buys and we're like, oh yeah, all that shit that you read, that you memorized, fuck it. Doesn't matter anymore. Now it's bullshit. I'm like, so I had to start over with it. So like, I'm still playing catch up to everything that's come out. Like, I'll go through spurts where it's like, all right, I got some money, I'll buy something stupid. I'll drop $100 on a book here. I like to collect art from friends and artists that I run into. I have a wall that's just nothing but prints. I don't know if you can see it a little bit, but like, I like to support being a professional wrestler, being a performance artist. I like to support artists, and if I can drop $30 or $40 on a print, and a couple bucks on a frame, I'd rather do that than like buy a bunch of plastic figurines. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if I get tired of the artwork, it's still artwork. Like, I'll just swap it out. It's a flat piece of whatever. It doesn't take up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
Like me with Bruiser Brody.
Oh, look at that.
Gosh.
That's still pretty cool, though.
That is.
But wait, this gets better. This gets better.
So what'd you guys do on the podcast? Oh, we looked at our toys.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
But that's a mayor one, right? That's awesome. The governor. Yeah.
Wait.
That is a cool one.
The military one.
Oh
yeah, you just need the Predator to pop out on that one.
Yeah. My favorite line out of Predator: "You're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed." I love that.
It reminds me of that bit from Tombstone with Kurt Russell, and he's like, "You just gonna do something, boy? You just gonna stand there and bleed." I still intend to pull that out. I'll pop that in a match at some point.
My newest piece.
Oh hell! Look at that. Mankind. Is that Steve Austin?
Yeah.
What? Hey, I just
what?
had to throw that out there.
Oh wait, what a rush!
Oh hell yeah! You got it signed, dude.
Yes, I did.
Dude.
That was that standalone wrestling when it came to standalone.
Out of all the wrestling figures that I own, this is the only one that I have signed. That's cool, man.
I love the old Chris Candido. I got the old Candido. Gotta have a Candido.
Yeah.
Man.
Look at that, man.
Look at that. Rest in peace. I love these these the old school pieces.
Yeah, the old school stuff. I love that stuff. That stuff is the best.
Because I am a warrior. I feel the power.
Take this spaceship full of rocket fuel. I love it. It's like, where are you
somewhere
going,
up
man?
In the attic, I have a blue Blazer. That's a pretty cool one. I just haven't been able to locate it. Like, I've moved a couple times, so it's like all my stuff is. Once it's up in the attic, I'm probably not going to see it for like another 5 to 10 years.
I have the last 2 figures in the series that when CM Punk was still part of WWE. I got the last 2 figures they made before he left.
How about
that they were Everett in production and they were already in the process of making them and putting them out, and then he left.
You do have something else on your shelf there. ODB bottle. ODB bottle?
That's way over. Yeah, let me grab that real quick. I'll show him.
Check this. Yeah, ODB. ODB. You remember her from T? Yeah, when she had that barbecue stuff when she had her stand. It's amazing what we find, huh? Like,
you guys have seen enough of my work to know that someone with a character like ODB is going to be something that I pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's been around. Yeah. Oh.
I almost forgot about that, David. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, this right here, I met ODB at, she was helping out Jimmy Hart. Why is my camera going down and showing my dirty desk?
No, that's dirty, Everett. Man, how do I see that? Put that dust away.
Oh, man. That's funny. Well, let me adjust it again.
Look at that. All right.
Now, I will say, in every room in my house, I have a shelf covered in random. I love books.
Yeah.
Most of them are about marketing or spirituality of some sort, or poetry. I'm big on poetry.
This when
he stuffed it off. Hold on.
Yeah, I am, because I haven't done anything with it in a while, man. Just been sitting there. Well, ODB, she was helping out Jimmy Hart's Bar and Grill here in Daytona Beach, and she was selling her own personal barbecue sauce. Now, she had to change it from this, and she changed it to ODB barbecue sauce, but this is her first run, and I bought a bottle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It changed from that right there to ODB. So there was only a limited run of one dirty
Looks like
bitch.
a different color now, Everett. Looks like a different color now.
What do you mean? I've had this since 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
I think what's the date on this thing? Because someone said, you still have not opened it? I said, no.
No.
I'm not going to. I mean, do you blame me for not opening it?
No.
Like, I know the rules of collectibles. You can't open it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, someone said they opened it and they used it and they said it was great. I was going to buy another bottle of barbecue sauce just to use, but she went back. She signed with Impact, and she ended up going back up north. So I couldn't, I couldn't get another bottle. So this is the only bottle of ODB One Dirty Bitch sauce that I have.
That is so cool.
Yeah. See that there? That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
She signed it, man. One Dirty Bitch.
That's cool.
Whiskey.
She's got a
barbecue sauce.
She's got a food truck now, right?
Dude,
yeah, she still has that.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Her food truck, she has the best fucking food, man. I'm telling you. She does. It's
know
great.
what? One of my dream projects that I'd like to do, because if you notice, Johnny Moran's got the podcast. I got a lot of friends that do podcasts. I've got a natural face for radio. I also have a lot of friends in the tattoo industry, and I would like to travel and do black and blues, brews, booze, and barbecues. And I would like to go check out all these different barbecue joints. Listen to blues bands, hang out with wrestlers and tattoo artists, and just kind of travel around and do a video series on it. You'll definitely be seeing that in my future. It's, as I get older and the bump card starts filling out, you got to have your next steps. And I'm just a natural born rambler and hustler. So I got to be out there. But I would love to make sure that I hit up that food truck.
That too.
ODB has got a cool style.
That's like JBL.
Even without like seeing her on TV, you can look at her and be like, you got a funny flavor, like I gotta fucking, I gotta find that food truck.
That's like JR.
You gotta take the chance, man. If you do not take the chance,
like JR's barbecue.
you're never gonna know.
I would love to. I'd love to go to his restaurant. I know he has a restaurant or something, or a chain or something. Yeah.
Shout out to everyone
I want to
viewing
find all
right
these
now
places
on the chat and viewing this podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to my crazy rambling.
Could we do a tag?
I love to find barbecue places in the weird places.
Hey guys, PJ Savage approves. Thank you.
Oh, PJ, you're coming on soon. Stay tuned.
Come on, PJ. Come on. Let's dance, baby. Let's dance.
He could be a guest on Everett.
Bring it.
Actually have it. You should have Everett.
I'd love to have him on, man.
All right.
PJ will come talk to you.
Yeah.
He's like me. He's got the gift of gab. You know, he'll come run his mouth. He'll come cry about how nobody gives him the attention he deserves and blah 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 blah.
Shout out to
and I'll make and I'll talk some shit to him while he's doing it, and eventually someone's gonna pony up the cash and put it on a poster and let me beat the living shit out of him in a ring.
Mastodon PJ says, shout out to you.
PJ, I love you, but I'm gonna slap you. Okay, it's just in love, my friend.
I do want to say
See
this.
you on the 8th.
He said in the chat, PJ Savage said next time he's gonna punch you in the face next time he sees you.
Don't promise me anything you can't follow through on, son.
Yeah. He is
I'm telling you, that is a powder keg ready to explode. You want to see some fun out there? Put me and PJ in a ring together. Cut out all the other bullshit. Put nobody else in. We don't need a 3-man, 4-man, 6-man, 20-man. It don't need to be a battle royal. Put me and PJ Savage in a ring. First match on the show, last match on the show, right before, right after intermission. It doesn't matter. We'll beat the shit out of each other, and we'll sell some tickets in the process.
Hell yeah.
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 You know what I want to do?
I'd love to see that.
You know what I want to do? I think with Rosh, with the Mastodon, you know what? I think next time we do round 3, let's pull up like an odd wrestling company and let's do some commentating, Everett.
Man, you keep trying to pull me back in the commentary.
I know.
Mastodon, back 2 years ago, I did commentary for a wrestling promotion here in Florida called Knockout Wrestling. You can check out my commentary on Knockout TV episodes 1 through 8. I did commentary on there, and it was a blast. But I loved it because I did it with 2 really good friends, and at the same time, it just
you were like
backstage politics changed that. Man,
sorry, so that idea.
I had a blast doing commentary.
Never mind.
At the time, it just, man, I put it water underneath the bridge, but okay.
Politics and human beings, just it happens. It's something that you got to deal with, you know, and you got to navigate around. And it's never easy because I found that if you try to look at things from multiple perspectives, you can get a better idea of what the reality of things are. But most people can only see from their own perspective. And it makes dealing with other human beings difficult at times, especially if you're diametrically opposed positions. And what I try to remind myself and the other guys, because a lot of the younger guys will come to me and like, hey, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in that situation? You know, that's, if you've been around a while, it's almost your responsibility to help shepherd these new kids. And I just try to remind them that everybody that's doing this, we're all looking for a place to escape to. You know, the real world, planet Earth, is not an easy place to live at. And going to do that 9-to-5 job or, 7-to-4 job or, whatever, it's not for the faint of heart. And we all have this dream of fulfilling our childhood fantasy of being in this world. And we all want it to go our way. We all want to be the main character in the story, but not everybody can be the main character. So it's good to compartmentalize what your role is in that story, so that you don't allow yourself to get so emotionally invested that you can get hurt. Like I've seen people just completely crushed by this business, and it doesn't need to be that way. Just keep a little bit of perspective and try to not allow yourself to get too attached, because things can change in an instant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's so.
Things have changed, because in the last couple of years with about 3 years ago, I've basically, I wasn't who I was at that time compared to now in the 3 years, but I had a blast doing, getting to do commentary, being a part of commentary, and actually getting to draw my inspiration from one of my favorite childhood heroes, Roddy Piper, Hot Rod Roddy Piper. Being able to draw that inspiration.
Chew bubblegum.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. I'm all out of gum. I was able to pull that out and use some of his inspiration to add element to the commentary. Because I'll send it to you, Mastodon. You let me know what you think about it, because
This is fun.
Check it out.
I went heel, and I had a great time doing it. Doing a heel commentary. I pulled from Roddy Piper and Bobby Heenan, to the best, and Bobby a little bit of Jerry Lawler in there too.
Did you just say Heenan?
Yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Bobby Heenan.
Yeah,
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain. Bobby the Brain. But I'll tell you, also learning production from nothing, no one telling me how to do a damn thing, for 9 months for CFWE, and you can watch CFWE from the January show all the way up to the September show. You can see the evolution of how I did production, from everything from editing wrestling shows to doing the match cards, to the graphics, to the intro and the outro and videos and everything. I learned that on my own.
Yeah,
the promoter and the booker, they pretty much trusted me. They kind of gave me free reign.
Everett?
What's that?
Everett, because you have done some stuff in the past, you with your friends, and Chris, of course. Yeah, go ahead and tell him, like, you had a wrestler guy, Jake the Snake guy, tell him. You had the...
yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got my foot in the door with doing what I did this year with CFWEs, because of a longtime friend who's been a worker in the business. So that kind of put my foot in the door there to learn how to do production. And the promoter saw something in me. The booker, I became good friends with, because he was a ROH veteran. He wrestled everyone from Samoa Joe to AJ Styles to a young green Adam Cole starting out in the business. And he trusted me. And they would ask me stuff, can you do this, do that? And I'd tell them, yes, I can do it. No, I can't do it. If you can do it, how would you do it? And I said, I'd do it like this. They said, do it and try it. If it fails, then we won't do it. And I learned a lot, and it kind of brought the side and best out of me, because when I watch wrestling, there's one part I was missing, is the psychology of it. When I sat down with the promoter, who's a veteran, who's been doing it for 20 plus years in the state of Florida, he's been doing it so long that when you would go over to someone's territory as a promoter in Florida And when that other promotion found out that you're running in their territory, they were the kind of guys that would go to your house and pull you out of your house in the middle of the night and beat you down in your front yard because you didn't do that. Territory days.
Oh, yeah.
So I learned some psychology watching, because we sat down and watched we were at a knockout show, and we sat down and he said, watch this match. And he pointed out things, and I was like, I didn't see that. He's like, well, watch this one. Tell me what you see. I see this and that. And he goes, there you go. And then all of a sudden it just Mastodon. It was like, it clicked. And I said, I get it now. I understand why there's a purpose for everything someone does in the ring, because you're telling a story. And that story, it unfolds in that squared circle where everyone can watch. And there's a reason why you do this and that. And I understand why veterans bitch about spots, because a spot, what I took from a veteran and psychology point of view, a spot makes sense if it has to do with the story. So I learned a lot. It was a good learning experience this year for me. The last year.
Those moments that you guys witnessed that we were talking about earlier, those Ring of Honor moments, I think we can all agree that Ring of Honor's produced some of the most incredible wrestling that we've probably ever seen, to just ever been able to put together. And there have been some absolutely amazing spots and sequences put together in the ring, but the ones you remember are the ones that are attached to story. Story is everything. And one of the things I got from the Sanctuary and from John Trosky, and thankfully I've been friends with him for over 20 years, going on 25 years now, and he had an opportunity to work in the movie industry as a stuntman and really dive into elements of storytelling, beyond just match psychology, but actual true movie storytelling. And we try to work that into wrestling, but it's at the Sanctuary. Everything is about story. If you have strong story, you can be kinder to your body. You don't have to put your body in an incredible risk, because if you can tell a strong story and you can get the crowd into that story, you can hold those moments, those spectacular stunts, those spots and sequences. You can save those as an exclamation point to really drive home what's in that character arc. And there's a feel to it too. Not to sound too Jedi crazy or anything, but you're in the ring and there's a couple hundred people out there. What you're doing, you can actually close your eyes and start feeling the energy in the room. And when you can feel that energy, you know when to make those gear shifts. You know when to transition. And that's when those moments are created, because those moments are what's gonna inspire the kids that are watching you to someday be the kids that are in the ring. We have to continue to pass down this ability to tell stories. And there are some incredibly gifted athletes out there doing incredibly gifted things. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, if there's no story attached to it, it's forgotten about. And that breaks my heart, because the work that they put in to get their bodies and their abilities to the point where they can do, all this stuff. I don't have any issue with, some guys are like, oh, these little flying around flippy dippy kids. It's a Whitman sampling, mm-hmm. a box of chocolates. You get a little bit of everything, and you don't know what you're going to get. Our Night of Survival, we specifically, every single match had a different style to it. And what we do at the Sanctuary with the Strike Division, which is heavy-handed hitting, a little bit less on the grappling, it's a lot slower pace, but there's story written in there. Just likewise, there's the Supreme Division, which has guys that are going to be back and forth and up and down and left and right. And I get blown up just watching them. I was like, oh, I got to catch my breath. You weren't out there. I know, but I was watching it. And I was like, those guys are telling stories too. And then once you start breaking down the psychology of everything, you go, oh, that's why this happened and that happened and this happened. And it makes everything make sense. And guys, if it doesn't make sense, it'll never make dollars.
Exactly.
Feel me?
Exactly.
It's a business. At the end of the day, you know, we are entertainers, but this is a business. I love going out every weekend and beating the shit out of myself and my friends. But if I can't sell a couple T-shirts and get an envelope at the end of the night, you know, if I can't at least cover the gas money to get there and back, there's something wrong with me.
Well, Everett's gone through tables before. Also.
Well, that right there, we'll talk about that off camera. Thank you, David, for bringing up.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Classics.
that. With that said, right there, we got just a few more minutes there. We're gonna take it home, and like you're saying right there, Mastodon. I agree with everything you say right there, and that right there makes a lot of sense, because if you're not telling the story in the ring, why the hell are you in the ring then? Exactly. You know? So with that,
let's avoid forgotten bumps and pointless concussions. Let's take care of each other out there, kids. Let's give the crowd a great show. Let's give them moments to remember us by, and let's go home at the end of the night with our heads high, smiling, because we're living out our fucking dreams.
Exactly.
Exactly. What do you say we do this again after the new year, round 3?
We will see what's happening with with me. I'm going to be starting a new shoot job at the beginning of the year, so things are going to be interesting in 2022, which will bring me to my last question. And you could go ahead and close it out with anything you want to plug there, Mastodon. First off, I want to say thank you for coming on the Everett Lee Show tonight with myself and David C. Russell at Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Shout out to the
2020.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself, Jen.
Awesome. I had a great time.
You'll be back. You'll be back on mine anytime. We got some talking to do after the Titan anyway. Yeah, I can't wait. We're gonna
the Mastodon. What's in store for you in 2022?
Well, new towns, new states, new promotions. Johnny Moran and I still have plenty to tell in our story. And please sure you tune into those little skits that we've got going up, because it's one of the most fun things I've done in the business so far. We have a loaded boat at the Sanctuary. We have so many shows coming up this year. After the new year, we're going to have a little bit of a meeting to start to figure out everything that we've got planned. But I've heard a few rumors. I can't say anything. Our champion's still Ace Austin, which means you know that we're going to see more of him. Jamie Senegal is always going to be the princess of the castle, so she'll always be floating around. And HC Loken, there's always going to be a menagerie of people coming in and out. I personally am putting out into the ether of the universe. I have one favorite type of match in the world, and that is a dog collar match. And I want to be booked in as many of them as possible this year. So 2022 for me is the year of the dog collar match. Any promoter that wants it out there, let's talk. Let's tell a story. Let's build up to something. And let me throw a chain in somebody's face. You'll definitely see a lot more tag team wrestling. I do come from the Loud Simone Training Center, which has a strong history of tag team wrestling. I got to spend the day yesterday with an old friend of mine, Samu, just catching up and cooking soup. I hope
stirred up the pot. Oh, did he freeze?
Did he freeze?
Yes, he did. His flat.
Give it a second here.
I believe I'm still here. I promise.
Yes,
I know you are.
Did I go?
There he is.
The lag.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, I promise.
Technology.
The phone didn't die.
We love the lag.
Technology's great. Like, I literally been sitting here and it just went. And so you're going to see me with a lot of different tag partners this year. I'm trying to work with as many of the young kids that are coming up from my area as possible. I mean it. The kids from the 570, we ain't nothing to fuck with. Put us on your show and we'll show out. That's what we do. We live for this shit. I want to bring as many of the kids that come from my neck of the woods out to the world as possible. Give us an opportunity. Give us a Sunday show, a Friday student show. I don't care what it is. Come out and we'll put on a hell of a show for you. I just want to be at as many places as possible. I want to try to travel as far as I can this year. 2022 is going to be a lot of fun. This year was all about getting my feet back under me from a long break. Next year is all about putting my foot to the floor and dropping the gas all the way. You'll see me at Titan. You'll see me in New York. You'll see me in Boston. You'll see me outside of Philly. I'm trying to get to Delaware. I want to go south. I want to go where it's warmer. I want to go to Florida. Let's make it happen. Let's hit all the towns. Let me fight every big man on the planet. Hoss Sauce 2022. Nice.
Thank you, Mastodon, for coming on the Everett Lee Show. And I do want to mention a lot of your information will be available in the description of this podcast here on the Everett Lee Show, right here on this Facebook video. You check out the description. People, read, because there's a lot of stuff in here, contact information that he will mention right now. So where can people find you on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, it's at Roshdangit, ROSHDANGIT. Oh, dang it, Roshdangit. That's me. Come check it out. Come see all my friends. Come check us at shows. Support local professional wrestling. Go enjoy a show. There's so much good shit. Bring some friends that have never watched this stuff before. Bring the people that have never seen wrestling before. I promise you'll blow their minds. It'll be more fun watching them get exposed to this whole new world than anything else. Just come find me. Come say hi. High fives, handshakes, hugs. I take pictures. I'll sign autographs. I got merch. Find me online. Let's talk. Let's do some cool shit out there, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come run my mouth. Give me a platform to speak to people and to answer some questions. I really appreciate it. I love modern media and I love the podcast world. I'll do it every day that I can.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
awesome,
there.
Rush.
Mastodon.
The Mastodon.
And I want to thank David C. Russell from Deathmatch Russell Podcast. David.
What do I got coming up?
Yes.
What do I got coming up? Yeah, I got actually, the Mastodon probably knows who I'm talking about. I'll be on a podcast with I'm going to be on a podcast panel with podcast with Tornado Tag podcast, and I'm looking forward.
With Tony.
Yes, Tony, yes. Anthony, and yes, to the group of also with IWEP podcast as well, if I'm correct. Yep. And I'm looking forward to talking to him and his guys about wrestling and just much more and wrestling. And that's it for the year for me. Till I see the Mastodon at Titan with some surprises.
Excellent.
I'll be there to witness it.
Excellent. And I will say this, you can find a lot of Deathmatch Wrestle podcast over on podcastcity.net. Right there on the screen right there. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. Head over to podcastcity.net. You can check out shows such as The Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Final Score, Wrestle Popcast, Verbal Shenanigans, and much, much more over on podcastcity.net. We add new shows. We got one new show we just added this week that I'm brain farting. I can't think off the top of my head, but head over to Podcast City Network's Facebook page, Podcast City Network. You can find out the name of that show on Twitter, at Podcast City Net. Subscribe to Podcast City Network on YouTube and over on Twitch. You want more Everett Lee? Everett Lee is found on the following platforms for the audio portion of this podcast: Amazon Music, Podbeam, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. So thank you for tuning in and listening. And another shout out to my Canadian crowd up in Canada supporting the show. So that is it.
I want to go to Canada. Somebody book me in Canada.
Yes. Book the Mastodon in Canada. We're going to leave it at that right there. Everett Lee signing off.
International Incident 2022, book it.
Well, I played the outro music there. Everyone, have a good night. And we'll see you again next time for another episode of The Everett Lee Show. Keep up with the latest shows and content from Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. Follow them on Facebook.com/Podcast City Network, Twitter @PodcastCityNet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Podcast City Network. On Twitch, Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. Whether it's a sticker for your car, a t-shirt for that special someone, or a neck garter to keep safe during COVID-19, Podcast City Network has you covered. Grab the latest PCN gear today at podcastcity.net/shop to show your support for your favorite show or shows from Podcast City Network today. Want to start a podcast? Trying to grow your current show? Podcast City Network is here to help. We currently offer services for social media advertising, marketing, live stream hosting, custom logo design and branding, transcript services, custom intro and outro videos, audio-video editing, press kits, one-on-one consultants, and much more. So don't wait. Contact us today. podcastcity.net/services. Head over to the website, fill out the form, get in contact with Podcast City Network. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know how? Do you already have a podcast but you don't know how to grow it? Are you trying to find ways to make your podcast profitable? You can learn how to do it here at Podcast City Network. We offer consultant services, tutorial classes to help with learning to better expand your knowledge to grow your show. We also give access to our network of shows to help with cross-promotions, guests, and overall reach while becoming a part of our ever-expanding PCN community based on people helping people. The best part is no membership fee. So what are you waiting for? Fill out the contact form below right here over on podcastcity.net/join now and sign up today. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. When I want to kick back a few cold ones with my friends, I head over to City Limits Taproom. City Limits Taproom has a wide selection of TVs to watch your favorite sports, indoor and outdoor seating, and they are pet friendly. City Limits Taproom also has food made fresh to order, and the grilled cheese is excellent. I recommend the grilled cheese and the apple pie cider with fries on the side. You can't go wrong with that, baby. For more information for upcoming events, head over to facebook.com/CityLimitsTaproom.